Hey.
The LSU women's basketball team eventually got it going and defeated Tennessee 89-73.
Barbara Walters, and admitted that in fact it does not take a village, and furthermore that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book. Meanwhile, President Clinton is hard at work on Tuesday's State of the Union address, which he will focus on crime, education, and the economy. At the request of the First Lady, part of the President's speech will be huge lies.
Why is it doing this?
Questions about Hillary Rodham Clinton's truthfulness in an interview this week. First Lady claimed that she won the women's 100-meter dash in the 1956 Olympics, and that she had an IQ of, quote, over 700. When it was pointed out to her that these were not especially good lies, Mrs. Clinton responded, I know, I have a problem. And I invented the formula for 700. In Whitewater News, federal regulators quiz Hillary.
Don't say anything real quick.
If there's other,
Wait 1 second. I'm trying to see if it's picking us up.
They claim that she
because he obviously brings a lot to the table.
All right, I think we're good. Because it was messing up yesterday.
Game with a foot injury is fine and will play this weekend. The Raging Cajuns have won 7 in a row and they host UC San Diego.
Oh wait, I think it is messing up.
1 Louisiana Tech Bulldogs welcome 12th ranked Southern Miss to JC Love Field for its
Oh my god, I hate this stupid
which is
book.
5 will host
Can you turn the studio audio off real quick?
Southland play.
Okay, and keep it down real quick.
About Apple News, that app pre-installed on every single iPhone. I'm Kim Commando for WebRoot. WebRoot Essentials protects your devices without slowing you down. Right now, get 62% off at webroot.com/Kim. A study found that in January, Apple News ran 620 articles in its top stories. Guess how many came from right-leaning outlets? 0. FTC Chairman Andrew Ferguson told Tim Cook to review the algorithm. Now, forget left or right for a second. This is an app you never asked for, on a phone that you paid for, quietly deciding what news you get to see. Most people have no idea it had an opinion. Want to check yours? Simple. Go to Settings, then Apps, and Apple News. Review your preferences, because the only person who should be picking your headlines is you, not an algorithm with an agenda. Take 2 minutes and take back control now. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. I've tried a lot of antivirus software over the years, and when something better comes along, I switch. That's why I've moved to WebRoot Essentials. WebRoot Essentials is a cloud-based AI-powered antivirus app that was designed to evolve with today's threats. It's fast, lightweight protection that works across all my devices without slowing me down. If you need another reason to switch, get this. WebRoot Essentials recently ranked #1 in independent Passmark performance studies against 9 other brands, like Norton, McAfee, and even Microsoft Defender. The study found that WebRoot Essentials scans 6 times faster, uses far less memory, and takes up 33% less space on your computer. I've seen the difference WebRoot has made for my devices, and now you can too. My listeners get 62% off WebRoot Essentials at webroot.com/Kim. Get the #1 ranked antivirus protection for just $19 a year right now at webroot.com/Kim. webroot.com/Kim. Go now while you're thinking about it. webroot.com/Kim.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome on in for Talkback here on your Friday morning. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Very glad to have you with us today. Should be a great show today as we close it out by talking with you here on this Friday morning on our BOM Bank Talk Line 318-442-8255. Whatever is on your mind today, as we're looking forward to chatting with you. Did you know, Stephen, that tomorrow is the last day of meteorological winter?
Good.
Ready for spring?
I'm sick of meteorological winter.
Now, the spring equinox actually is not until March 20th, final day of winter. Yeah.
Not as smoky as it was yesterday. Thank goodness for that. But
Yeah.
very foggy, so.
By prescribed burns.
Smoke for, over in Woodworth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the U.S. Forest Service was burning some land over in Kisashie, a couple hundred acres, and hopefully they're done, they said.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, it might cause a little bit of smoke for a while, but what it does prevent are larger wildfires that you typically see so much more out west because they don't manage the forest the way that they do here. So even though it could be a little bit of an inconvenience for you, well, it's actually a good thing. So there you go.
Wasn't too bad. We can deal with the smoke, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. All right. If you can't take the smoke, don't start the heat.
Don't
or
get
something like
outside.
that.
Stay
There you go.
inside.
Yes, yes. Today is National Retro Day, Stephen.
What's retro now? I feel like I'm retro now.
Yeah, really. The word was first used in the 1970s to describe fashions stolen from the 1930s.
Wow. You know, I think if we have to bring back fashion, I would like the 1920s, 30s, 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Very sharp. I liked it. Looked really cool. Especially the suits. I even like those 1940s suits, kind of the oversized ones, like
Yeah.
broad-chested, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
big shoulders.
So, yeah, big shoulders. Bring those back. I'm glad we're out of the skinny clothing phase of the late, mid-2010s.
Mm.
And so we're kind of getting back into like that 90s baggy look.
Yeah.
Much more comfortable.
You don't like the skinny jeans?
They were kind of getting old.
Yeah.
I like a good bag, not baggy, but just kind of loose fitting jeans.
I think that was one of my
tight fitting jeans.
One of my favorite Babylon Bee headlines. Babylon Bee is a satirical website that only Twitter took seriously when they named Rachel Levine as their Woman of the Year and banned them back in, 2022? Before that's what prompted Elon Musk to buy Twitter. But my favorite headline they had was something to the effect of Jaws of Life called in to extract youth pastor from skinny jeans.
Oh, well. No, the youth pastor, I don't know if it's changed the past couple of years, but they have a black sweater, a gold cross necklace over the black sweater, those skinny jeans, some nice, I like those nice millennial zip boots. Those are nice. I have them on today. But that's your typical
Zip.
pastor look. And for your non-denominational church, I'm not making fun of it. I mean, we have starter kits for everything, Pentecostals got it. Catholics definitely have it for like 2,000 years. So it's that's just what they do, I guess.
I do like retro things, though. I like things that are older. I guess because of the nostalgia. I guess I'm kind of retro.
I mean, you probably harken back to the 80s is what you like.
Yeah. I mean, it's I cannot, in my classes these days, I cannot bring up any pop culture reference because the students just don't get it.
It's too far away.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, but I guess when I think about it, for me, the 1980s don't seem that long ago. I mean, I realize we're talking about 40 years ago, at least in some cases. But when I was their age, the 40 years ago would have been the 1940s.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like I was more familiar with things from that time period than they are today with things from like the 80s.
Well, you can't keep up with things today, so it's hard to keep up with things back then.
Maybe so.
I don't know. And my brother, who's 13 years younger than me, he's 19 right now.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at, like you look at the 80s, he looks at the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
It's just like cool to him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's when I grew up. It's kind of interesting, kind of unnerving. I'm old now.
The 90s weren't a bad decade. It had its positives.
There's a lot of good.
Yeah. It was a big tech era before it all crashed, but of course, that was the height of Bill Clinton being president. Speaking of which, he'll be speaking on he'll be testifying on Capitol Hill today before the Senate committee or the Congressional Committee. House
Yeah.
Committee.
We got plenty to talk about there.
Yeah. About the Epstein files.
I guess so.
His wife was there yesterday.
It was so we could talk about it. So Hillary Clinton was in front of that House committee, the Oversight Committee, For the Epstein files, they deposed her and the former president. And I'm trying to get what she says here. She says, a committee run by elected officials with a commitment to transparency would ensure the full release of all the files. It would ensure that lawful redactions of those files protected the victims and survivors, not powerful men and allies. She goes, if it would get to the bottom of reports that DOJ withheld FBI interviews in which a survivor accuses President Trump of heinous crimes. She goes, if the committee is serious about learning the truth of Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. I'm trying to see. So, yeah. That's kind of what we're dealing with. The big news that came out of that as well is that for some reason, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, Republican, snapped. And so they shut the thing down. And it
Because she's Lauren Boebert.
God, this is so ridiculous. And then what she said afterwards, she's like, oh, I just liked her blue dress. Being sarcastic. So, send it to Benny Johnson. He's the right-wing tweeter.
Yeah.
So,
not one of my favorites in the conservative camp.
But regardless,
yeah,
Hillary not mentioned in those files whatsoever. Bill, as we know, he's got a couple pictures out there. So it'll be interesting to what comes of that. They do have full video recordings of it, and they will post it most likely pending review of the Clintons' lawyers. But the Clintons, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. They've been pretty open that there should have been an open committee hearing with press from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think that this could backfire on Republicans or the administration because they're asking now for those in the president's circle, including him, to go up there and give testimony. But him being a current president would be probably very difficult to do that.
Well, I'd warned last week, I think it was, that they needed to be careful bringing Hillary Clinton in because of all the skilled liars that have ever existed in the history of the world, she is among the best. There's just no doubt about that. So anything that's coming out of her mouth, to me, I'm not going to take that as gospel truth in any way, shape, or form. I saw they had a news conference kind of thing afterward, and somebody asked her about the fact that Ghislaine Maxwell was at Chelsea's wedding, and that kind of shut it down at that point.
No, she said, and you know, whatever the case may be, she was at Chelsea's wedding, and she goes, she was there as a +1 from a guest we invited.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the situation is there, whatever. Of course, they ran in the same circles. There's a chance they might have known each other pretty significantly, and they're just lying. That could be possible. She says she doesn't, but yeah, we're dealing with politicians here. I think it's at least a fair statement that if they want to get to the bottom of it, why not bring on the guy who's listed more than Harry Potter is in the Harry Potter's 7 books? You know, and that's President Trump. So I think that's a fair assessment. I'm not saying he's involved. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. But if we're going to talk about it, Republicans are going to be serious about it, you got to bring in part of the administration, probably. Wouldn't you think?
I mean, I think they've been beating this horse for a while, and we've talked about it ad nauseum when it comes to Trump. If there was anything that I think would be indicting of Trump, it would have come out over the last 8 to 10 years. Yeah, his name is mentioned in there a lot, sure, but a lot of people's names are mentioned in there. The people from The View found out their names were in there. They got kind of a different tune about that. But my point is with the Clintons, you better be careful because there has been no more skilled couple when it comes to fabrication and misrepresenting truth than they have. And all you have to do is go back to the women, credible women who accused Bill Clinton of sexual assault and the way that Hillary treated those victims.
No doubt. And it goes back to what we said from the start. A lot of people believe everyone's in it together, powerful or protecting each other.
That may be true.
Regardless of party lines.
Yeah.
Why do you think some Democrats wouldn't go after Trump with him being in the files. Like, really think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they got a lot of their friends and themselves in it as well.
Yeah.
So they're protecting themselves. But it's a significant amount, and they're just allegations. Allegations are not, you're not saying you're guilty. That's not saying you're guilty there. But why try and hold off the release, and then why redact more than half of it, and still not release half of it? That's, I mean, your sketch meter's got to be going off a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
And it's not even just about the president. It's about a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, it keeps unfolding in different ways. I'm not confident that a lot will come of it. But it's a shame that we just can't get to the bottom of it. And we talk, the whole administration's based on draining the swamp. I just can't think of anything more swampy than this. Possible child sex trafficking ring with the most influential, rich, powerful, politically involved people in the world. That's a swamp. That's like a swamp planet. Like something you'd see off of a horror movie. Just odd. It's odd, like the change of tune. You know, if Hunter Biden's laptop got us this worked up, we should get worked up about this too.
All right. Well, we need to take a break. We'll come right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Block is cutting 4,000 of its employees, reducing its workforce by nearly half, all because of artificial intelligence. Jack Dorsey is a co-founder of the tech and financial services company, whose entities include Square and a Cash App. Dorsey says he actually thinks a lot of companies will ultimately have to make similar moves due to AI. A blow to the Ohio farm industry. A fire at a farm outside Columbus killed 6,000 hogs and pigs. The fire chief there says the large farm complex was used for hog production, consisting of 5 large agricultural buildings. Shares of Duolingo are down as much as 25% in pre-market trading over AI concerns. Investors are worried that growth will slow down as the technology makes it easier for people to translate and communicate in different languages. Duolingo plans to launch new AI-powered lesson plans and offer more video call options to subscribers. Matt Piper, Bloomberg Radio.
Well, a warm weekend stretching out ahead of us. Good morning. Partly cloudy skies on our Friday afternoon. Highs climbing up to 79 degrees. Our winds will be out of the north-northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's not a major factor there. 48 the overnight low, into clear skies tonight. And then for Saturday and Sunday, a warm weekend. Afternoon highs both days, about 81. A lot of sunshine. From the Zenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
A lie or a crook murder or anything like that. So it'd be good to get the. See, I think we should get the homicide out of the White House and get like a fresh start, because we don't want any more murderers.
I think we should just go on to the next question.
Oh.
Who's the murderers? Yeah.
Oh, Clinton, he murdered a guy.
Yeah, you know, we're not allowed to, you're not allowed to put out no accusations without
That's a little too far.
That's the way it does work.
Let's just go on to the next question.
Yeah.
This is not my week. What can I tell you?
Oh, it's not mine either, and I'm being very nice, okay? Be a good boy. Now, Norm.
Do you never hear that?
No. Listen,
No,
we don't need
I don't want to get into this, and I don't want to hear it, and this is not the place to make those accusations, and you're supposed to be funny. Let's get on to the next question. Get with it.
There you go.
This is a live show.
Not for nothing, Norm, but you have been properly chastised by Barbara, so I'm not going to ask the next question.
I thought it was a matter of record.
Shut up. Look,
Okay.
let me do this, okay?
I'll tell you what's the matter of record. You will not be invited back if you don't shut up. All right, now. Let's talk football.
All right, manslaughter.
Let's talk.
Oh, man. Since it's Retro Day, I found a retro clip of Norm Macdonald when he was on The View. That was in the year 2000.
Wow. I didn't know that show was going on that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Barbara Walters actually was the one that started, I believe. But very famous for his many shots at the Clintons.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on a whole show attacking the Clintons for sure. I think that's besides the point, too, of the whole matter of the situation, though, right? Politicians lie.
Yes.
Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, for example, who was caught significantly lying about the Epstein files, and now we see a scrub photo of him with Epstein on this beautiful island from years ago that was just uncovered. So they're all trying to protect themselves. And I think, and look, like I've said a million times before, I hope President Trump has nothing to do with this. Like, I legitimately pray for that. But I just want answers, you know. He's one of the most powerful he is the most powerful person in the world. And I think it's important for us to fairly look at this situation. And I don't even think it's about him. I think the one that comes off the worst, at least from the latest drop, is Bill Gates, right? And
yes.
probably Lutnick.
Oh, yeah.
Lutnick as well, you know? And I think it's a shame, too, if we're stopping the releases to protect some friends as well. I think that's a shame.
Which, I mean, at this point is speculation as why they haven't. The only thing we've heard is, excuse me, trying to protect some of the victims, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever really know the truth on this.
I agree.
And when it involves politics, power, and money, it's hard to feel like we will.
And I get, too, like, all of a sudden Democrats care about it. I'm completely aware of that. You know, it's a shame as well. But this is something the right was asking for so long. In his first term, before his first term. That's what's confusing to me. I have nothing else to say about it.
It's almost like someone's in a blue dress sitting in a chair with red shoes and a painting.
It's a beautiful painting. How much would you pay for that?
I wouldn't. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Well, please don't take this wrong, but is there any evidence at all that was any underage people involved in this?
Is there any evidence?
Yeah, any underage people involved in this?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
What are you trying to say?
Well, some people use the word child sex trafficking. That's not what it is. It's just most of these girls were in their mid-20s and up. And people use the word child sex trafficking. There were no children involved.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I have not exhaustively looked into this. I think
many of the accusations have minors in there. Accusations.
Yeah. Okay.
There was one that was 16 who wrote this whole diary entry in there about her baby being taken away.
Yeesh. All right, another call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Norm Macdonald was referring to the Clinton Chronicles. I sent that to a bunch of our congressmen way back when. But the moral outrage that's going on here, I can't help it galls me. Partly because there was no moral outrage when, like Stephen said, when the Democrats were in office. And secondly, going to what the last caller said, I don't know how those girls got to the island. First of all, the victims, so I said victims, all said Trump had nothing to do with it. That's enough for me. But they got to this island somehow. 16, 18, I don't care what they were. They got there somehow. And where's the moral outrage for the little girls getting married at 7 years old in Islam? Because that's what bothers me. And, I mean, that's what I see taking over our country. People, we know what circumcision is. Well, they circumcise little girls at 8 years old. 8 years old. Where's the moral outrage over that? Yeah, I'm sorry that there was ever an Epstein Island and rich people took advantage of girls. Some of the older ones, like the last caller said, in their 20s, they were obviously looking for opportunity. I'm sorry that it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. I'm sorry for all that. But there are millions of little girls today, right now, being victimized in what some people call a religion that is an organized excuse for men to behave like animals. And it's taken over at least 2 of our cities, Dearborn, Michigan, and Detroit, where they sound 6 times a day the call to prayer. And they have no-go zones where our American police don't go. And what do you think is happening to those little girls right now? Yeah, this. You say Trump's name was 1,000 times more than Harry Potter. I find that hard to believe, but even if it is, it's named. And the victim said that he didn't touch me. That's enough for me. But what are we going to do about Islam? Because those little girls are shoving. Listen to Aziza Bibi or any of the women that have come out. The few, there aren't that many, the women that have come out and told horror stories of what happened to them and their children. So, yeah, you know, Epstein was the example of a sinful man without any restraint, and he let his heart drive him to whatever he wanted to do, and he profited from it, lived a great life. I'm sure he's questioning all his life choices right now. But this thing with the Epstein files, they want to stick it. I know they're political people. They're trying to get Bill and Hillary up there, and you're right, Al. They're the best liars that's ever been. I don't think they're going to catch them on anything. But we got to admit what's going on in Islam, and it's here now. And there are girls that are suffering as we speak. Anyway, thanks for letting me speak my piece. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Thank you for that.
That's great. All those things are bad. It doesn't deflect from the fact that this is bad as well, and we still need to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Oh, I would love to know the absolute truth about it. No question. I'd love to know the absolute truth about a lot of things. I just don't think we ever will. I really don't. And whether that's even someone like Trump trying to protect people, I don't know. Maybe. Certainly we've seen, this has been around for a while, and there were other opportunities for it all to come out, and it really didn't. I mean, one thing you have to credit the Trump administration with, they've released way more about it than any other administration has. But if there are still questions about what hasn't been released, I don't know how else you deal with that other than to keep releasing it.
Yeah, but you have to look at the context. After saying for us to forget about it, and then an literal act of Congress to make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just the apatheticness all of a sudden. That's just perplexing to me. That's what's really getting at me.
Yeah, I can see that. I think that's fair.
And there's plenty of accounts of underage women involved in the Epstein files, one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, I personally have not really dug into it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we dig in all these other things, but probably one of the biggest scandals of all time, all this apatheticness behind it.
Yeah.
But I get it, too, because it's a very complicated story with a bajillion files involved.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to keep up with.
Right.
That's the one thing that really grinds my gears. That's about it. That's the biggest thing about it. And, of course, the victimization of children would be a big one.
100%. Yeah.
And protecting anyone who victimizes children that way is a piece of crap.
Sure. And, you know, unfortunately, we live in an era where outrage can be selective. I'm just as concerned about the 400 or so thousand children that ICE has been able to find that were brought across the border unattended.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, children are, among us, they are the ones that need to be protected the most. And when they're exploited and trafficked and abused, that's the worst. It's the worst face of man. And it's one of the reasons the people that do those things will one day answer for it, if not in this life, then in the world to come. And as someone said, it'd be better for them that they had not been born at all. All right, we'll take a break.
KSYL. Problems. Everybody hates them, but from time to time, everybody's got some. And that's why everybody needs to know about Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Heating or cooling problem? Call Southern Air. Plumbing or drain problem? It's Southern Air again. Your power's out and you need a generator? Guess who? And you can keep those problems away this winter with a heating tune-up. Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling now at 318-777-5555 or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
So I am shocked.
Oh, I was wondering where you were. I was talking about you yesterday.
I've been reading the Epstein files.
Good.
I was shocked. I was shocked to find out this morning that politicians lie. I was also shocked to find out that one side will use one side of the argument for their own benefit against the other side. I mean, meet the new boss. They're the same as the old boss. They are not. That's what politicians have done for life. And, you know, all conspiracy theories are the same in this regard. No matter how much you learn about it, there's going to be somebody who says, oh, yeah, well, they're not really telling you the truth. Just like the UFO. Well, they're not really telling us the truth. It's like JFK. Well, if they were to release everything, we would know. Yeah. It's like Martin Luther King. Oh, well, if they really tell us everything, so is it true with the Epstein files. No matter what is released, there's always going to be somebody who says, oh, well, if they tell us everything, we would know who did what.
True.
And as far as men abusing minor women, I mean, how far back do you want me to go? Men have been abusing young, disadvantaged women, well, at least since the Oracle of Delphi, when they used teenage virgins to tell the future. I mean, this is nothing new. And so the problem is we try to put perfect standards on imperfect people. And we will always be disappointed when we do that.
I just think it would be one of the most heinous crimes that I can think of abusing abusing children. And I can confidently say I've never done that. I know probably Al's never done that. That's just a horrible thing. I don't know if it should be excused just because it's historical.
I didn't say it should be excused. I said it's nothing new.
Yeah.
I mean, so we're acting like that this is I've heard the word unprecedented so many times when referring to the Epstein file, and it's not unprecedented. It's been happening forever. Just because you're right, just because it's happened before doesn't excuse it.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't be shocked. Nothing man does to one another should shock us. We're terrible creatures.
I
could agree with that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm going to. I got one more question.
Sure.
Does anybody, when Dave calls in, does anybody keep an count when he talks?
I believe you're the second person that's raised that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get one of those counters, you know, that the old people at the James and Mary Baker Health Center on LC count their laps with. I think I'm going to get me one of those so I can hear David say and get him a good count on
I just think his mind works very quickly, and he's trying to keep up with his thoughts while he's speaking. And a lot of people do it. I mean, you can't just cite him for that.
No, but he's a world champion of it.
All right. Well, I'll get him in my speech class. We'll try to work on that with him.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Okay. Oh, man.
Dave's a smart guy.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. I think that's his verbal filler because his mind is racing so fast.
I have verbal fillers all of the time.
So.
You know?
Yes.
You have them too.
I do.
Yeah.
I try to be aware of them, but sometimes they just sneak up on you because that is a natural thing to do as you're speaking, especially as you come to an end of a thought and you're trying to get ready for the next thought. The or the gives you a chance to kind of pause your cognitive process while that next thought is kind of loading into your head.
Well, silence is uncomfortable.
Yes.
And we learn to use that to our advantage as well.
That's true. Yeah.
If you stop talking, someone's going to fill it with something.
That's right.
It might be a little extra bit of information that we were wondering.
Yes. So we work on it. I teach a speech class, and that's one of the things I try to work with them on. And I tend to find that even the smartest of the students are the ones sometimes that have the most issue with ums. Because, again, they tend to be the ones when they're doing their speech do it a little bit more extemporaneously, meaning that they're just going off their notes, but they're they're filling in with what's in their head rather than just trying to read it, as some people might try to do. So extemporaneous speaking is the hardest to do without using verbal fillers.
Yes. And going back to what he was saying, and I know he wasn't trying to excuse it, he's also a very smart guy.
Yeah.
I understand that humans suck, generally, and that we do very horrible things. However, that fact should not desensitize us from what's going on with this or what possibly could have gone on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the one thing I've said a million times already, and I'll stop saying it after the 1,000,001, is that the lack of attention this is getting from some people who are very news-minded. For you, example, I'm not calling you out, and I get it's overwhelming, but it's likely, possibly, one of the largest scandals in American history, in my small-brained opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's astounding the things you'll read in there, and you can't take everything at face value, right? But just because it's happened before, or this is human nature, that shouldn't desensitize us to taking action. And if it wasn't for a couple of Congress people, this never would have happened. Never would have happened.
Yeah, quite possibly. Okay, we need to take another break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol. Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting central Louisiana back on the map.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Tell Good RX Rodent, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
I'd put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. tax season, and TaxSlayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention TaxSlayer even has support from real U.S.-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talk Back.
The secretary was shown photos of former President Bill Clinton with photos that were released in the Epstein files, and she did admit that it was her husband, but she could not admit where they were, when they were taken, who they were taken with, and why they were taken, and what he was doing with those women. So it was very difficult to actually get any truth from her. But we did hear from Mrs. Clinton regularly that the committee should ask her husband these questions if we want answers. And so we are going to be asking Bill Clinton questions tomorrow and see if he can recall why he was in hot tubs with these young girls and receiving massages from women, and what exactly he was doing all those times on the Lolita Express and on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Since Hillary Clinton could not recall the conversations that she personally had with her husband once she learned about these images, we are going to take it directly to Bill Clinton himself tomorrow.
All right, that's coming up today. That was Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, she of the photo sharing type. We'll see if she keeps the photos to herself today as Bill Clinton testifies.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens.
But is it fair to say that in all of the Epstein file discussion years, the person that has been linked to this the most has always been Bill Clinton? Is that fair to say?
Probably, yeah, him and Donald Trump. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, that new boss, old boss guy, I find this call's pretty entertaining. You know, he's a smart guy, obviously, but he likes to nitpick. The Dave's calls, I don't even notice him saying, Dave fascinates me about how well read he is, and he's able to recall so much of what he reads and how it relates. You know, I think that guy likes to nitpick. He's the same. He ought to enter. I focus on what Dave's saying. I don't even notice him saying but I think that guy likes to nitpick. He's the one that called in. I had quoted the Bible. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, he called to nitpick me, saying that I had misquoted that. And I went and double-checked my Bible, which is the King James Version, and I quoted it exactly as the King James Version had it. And he likes to nitpick, apparently. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I think he ought to focus on what Dave's saying and don't pay attention to that. He's paying more attention to my than he is what Dave's saying.
He's just trying to mess with him. He's just messing with him.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you got a little mean streak to me. But like I say, I do enter it. I enjoy his calls. He's pretty
absolutely
witty and what have you. But
we enjoy all the calls, including yours.
People were asking, and this is the last thing Epstein I want to talk about, that he wasn't mentioned the most. He was mentioned 38,000 times, Trump, in the latest drop of the Epstein files.
All right, there you have it. More coming up.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A day after his wife testified, a former president is set to make history in 2 hours when he's deposed behind closed doors in a high-profile sexual abuse case. Correspondent Jared Hill.
Today, former President Bill Clinton takes the hot seat as House lawmakers probe for answers about the nature of his ties to late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. While recently released Epstein files include pictures of and flight logs that show former President Clinton flew on Epstein's private plane, both Clintons have denied knowing about Epstein's crimes, and neither has been accused of any wrongdoing.
He'll be the first former president in more than 50 years to testify before Congress. Yesterday, Hillary Clinton underwent 6 hours of questioning. We've learned the U.S. government accidentally shot down a Customs and Border Protection drone in South Cleve.
That drone was apparently operating in the area around Fort Hancock, which is outside of El Paso, and it appears the Pentagon wasn't alerted by CBP in advance.
It comes to airport. U.S. officials tell CBS News at least one person was killed, one captured from a speedboat in the waters off northern Cuba. They were U.S. citizens. Correspondent Nancy Cordes.
One of the 4 killed in the crossfire.
Estos son los nuevos héroes de la libertad de Cuba.
The people on board are heroes, Bosch says, fighting for Cuba's freedom.
The boat, registered in the Florida Keys, was reported stolen. A new survey finds fewer people sympathize with Israel and its conflict with the Palestinians.
The latest Gallup poll finds a majority of Americans, 41%, sympathize with the Palestinians. 36% sympathize with Israel, down from 54% 3 years ago before Hamas attacked Israel. It seems many Americans believe Israel's response to the attack has been disproportionate. Only 2 in 10 Democrats and 3 in 10 independents say their concerns lie more with the Israelis. 7 in 10 Republicans still side with Israel, but that's down slightly from 8 in 10 before the war. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
More problems for NASA's Artemis program. The space agency will give an update next hour after a helium flow issue delayed a launch to at least April. Former astronaut Dr. Scott Parazynski.
This will be the first crewed mission to the moon in decades, of course. They've got to troubleshoot it, make sure that it's safe to commit the crew to going off to the moon.
Dow futures are down 531. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here. Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring. Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now. JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet. Just a couple things, huh? Maybe more than a couple.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
What annoys you most when you're driving?
A new survey by auto website Guessing Headlights found that backseat drivers drive us crazy the most.
Hey, buddy, think you might lay off the gas a little? We're not in a rush or anything.
The poll found when a passenger is giving constant, unsolicited directions and critiques, we're most annoyed behind the wheel. Other things that passengers do that really bug us: when they change the music without asking, leave trash in our cars, and put their feet on the dashboard. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
A tribute to Eric Dane on the TV show that made him a star.
Looks steamy, right?
Mark Sloan.
ABC's Grey's Anatomy paid homage with a 60-second montage at the end of last night's episode. Dane died last week after a battle with ALS. He was 53.
Don't waste one single minute.
Deborah Rodriguez.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. The Louisiana Public Service Commission will perform an audit of Delta Utilities' billing and costs this summer. Many customers are upset over their high gas bills. Rasha Williams, who heads a community center in Baton Rouge, spoke to the Public Service Commission.
Seniors who are on fixed incomes, walking in with shaking hands,
because their gas bill is now higher than their grocery budget.
Delta spokesperson Sarah Proteus says gas bills are high because demand is higher in the winter and the cost of natural gas increased from September to February. She says customers who are unable to pay their bills can contact Delta to work out a payment plan. She also encourages customers to utilize levelized billing.
So that you have a more manageable, more predictable bill. You're basically paying the same amount every month.
While gas prices are up, crawfish prices dropped 50 cents per pound this week. Crawfish app co-founder Lainey King says the drop is a strong indicator that supply remains steady despite the recent cold weather. LRN. Great news for readers of the West Carroll Gazette. Joe Gallinaro has the details of how the paper was saved.
The West Carroll Gazette has been around for 116 years, but a couple of weeks ago, Louisiana State Newspapers announced that the weekly paper would have its final edition this week.
And it sparked a lot of local concern.
That's businessman Adam Holland, who also serves on the West Carroll Chamber of Commerce Board. Holland says after talking with fellow board members, the decision was made for the chamber to buy the newspaper.
It just came to me that why don't we throw this at the Chamber of Commerce? The Chamber Board was excited about it.
Holland says loyal readers of the West Carroll Gazette are excited the paper is here to stay. I'm Joe Gallinaro.
The UL system is expected to name Dr. Ramesh Kallaru as president of UL Lafayette today. Kallaru has been serving as interim president and was named as the sole finalist for the job earlier this week. System president Rick Gallo says Kallaru has been very effective.
We've seen him already in his interim role make some pretty tough decisions on trying to right some of the ways that the university needs to change and evolve.
LRN.
Ram truck owners, here's a recall that pays you. Complete Recall 67A and get $500. Act fast for $1,000. Plus, get a free extended warranty. Make a power move. Learn more at CumminsRecall.com.
Well, a warm weekend stretching out ahead of us. Good morning. Partly cloudy skies on our Friday afternoon highs, climbing up to 79 degrees. Our winds will be out of the north-northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's not a major factor there. 48 the overnight low into clear skies tonight. And then for Saturday and Sunday, a warm weekend. Afternoon highs both days, about 81. A lot of sunshine. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 of Talkback, getting a little charged up here on a Friday morning with the music of Lynyrd Skynyrd, one of my favorite newer songs of theirs, Red, White, and Blue. And the reason I played that clip is the current lead singer for Skynyrd is Johnny Van Zant, turned 66 years old today, brother of the co-founder of Lynyrd Skynyrd, Ronnie Van Zant, who, of course, passed away in a tragic plane crash back in the 1970s. And also their other brother, Donnie Van Zant, from the group 38 Special. Some of you might know who he is from that group, but always one of my favorites, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And they've had a little bit of a resurgence here, I would say, in recent months. You had the epic commercial that Budweiser had during the Super Bowl when the Clydesdale and the Baby Eagle, using Freebird as the background for that. And I've seen a number of videos, people splicing highlights together from the Olympic hockey team victory using Freebird as well. Kind of has become the official anthem of America.
I'm a little over the song just because growing up, it was like the favorite song of everybody. It made a resurgence then too. Great song. It's just I've heard it's been a lot. It's been a lot.
I never
Great
get
song.
tired of it.
This bird you cannot change.
That's right.
I like Leonard Skinner, all right. I'm not a huge Southern rock guy. I like some of it.
Yeah, yeah. What amazed me about Skynyrd is if you go back and listen to like their greatest hits album or something like that, how good their music was when all of them at the time were mostly like in their mid-20s. And then when the plane crash happened, man, you just felt like the music died. But it didn't, because later they came back and have continued to rock out.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, but there's a clip, if you ever see it. It was a concert held in Oakland, I want to say circa 1976, 77. And, and it wasn't just Skynyrd. I think Peter Frampton performed that day and several others, but just a capacity crowd at a huge baseball stadium. And it just kind of captures the flavor of what those 70s years were like. All right, welcome back, everyone. 442-8255 is the number on our BOM Bank talk line. Let's get back to the phone calls. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, good
I
morning.
have an announcement to make about Stem's Cornerstone Church having a free spaghetti dinner for anybody who wants to come eat tomorrow between 11 and 1 on the old Airport Road in Pollock.
Okay, that's Sims. What church did you say?
Cornerstone.
Sims Cornerstone. Okay.
It's about 2 blocks off the Monroe Highway.
Right. Yeah, I know exactly where that is. You turn where which gas station is that? Chevron?
Chevron.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And it's free to the public.
Really? Wow.
Yes, sir.
Free spaghetti dinner?
Free spaghetti dinner, and Aunt Lady's getting up early tomorrow morning to start cooking it.
Wow. Give us the time again.
Between 11 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. What's the occasion? Just y'all want to do something nice for folks?
Yeah, they'll start doing it like a community thing for the people once a month, I believe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you for letting us know. We appreciate that. Yes,
all right, sir. Y'all have a great day, Al. See you later, Steve.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. So let's talk about some of the other things that are going on. I know you and Nathan had touched on this yesterday, that the England Authority was having their meeting yesterday, and a big topic of that was the proposed data center that would be located in the Boyce area.
Have you seen any reports on that this morning?
The only thing I've seen is from Jim Butler in the Rapides Parish Journal. He said that center may or may not locate in an England Authority sub-district area created Thursday, but a staging area for self-deporting illegal alien families will locate on the former Air Base grounds. Central Louisiana's leading industry hunter, Louisiana Central CEO Chris Massengill told Authority members, a number of public officials and interested citizens, that discussions continue with the principals involved in the data proposal for the tract near Boyce. He assured one and all that any formal proposal for such, should it happen, will be subject to authority review, seemingly easing some transparency and accountability concerns. He and other speakers appeared optimistic that negotiations are headed toward a mutually beneficial conclusion, though there remains work to be done. They did seem to put to rest concerns about water and electricity consumption, noting technology that allows looping or recycling water and power provisions that do not impact grid rates. It's interesting because President Trump, in his State of the Union on Tuesday, did talk about the rise of data centers and that they are proposing new legislation or a new plan that would allow those companies to build their own power plants where they're located so that they would not impact those local grids. That didn't get a lot of play. But honestly, of all the things that he talked about Tuesday night, that one might have been the biggest.
Well, we see Musk saying that they want to put those in space, and that could be a very, he goes, beneficial thing for the grid.
Yeah.
And he says it could happen quicker than we think. So on that board, England Authority, I'm trying to see who it is now. We got Myron Lawson, Patrick O'Quinn, Pastor Dara, Joshua Joy Dara, Joe McPherson, I haven't seen him in a while, Zeb Winstead, Charlie Weems, and Trey Crump.
Okay.
And you have O'Day Laverne, Jamar Gales, and Steve Mansour. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, and we brought that up. Matt Ritchie kind of broke the news for us there that AI company was buying that tract of land for a hefty amount in Boyce or near Boyce. And,
yeah.
You know, I did reach out to, is it Applied Digital? I forgot the name of it. They said they don't have any comment at this time, so we'll see. I know it's been a bit of a controversial thing in some other Louisiana cities. It was a big deal over in Freeport, some protesting there, but it eventually passed. And I think it's, you know, these companies are looking at places too where their communities looking for some sort of economic, you know, boon at the end of the day.
Yeah,
we would definitely be one of those.
Yeah. Butler also writes that the staging area, the deportation staging area, seems to be a sure thing. It would be 2 buildings and 10 acres converted into a self-contained short-term community, 3 to 5 day average residency, while people wait for their deportation flight. Sonia Thompson of Compass Connections excuse me, says the staging area will be the first of its kind. The authority will receive a bit over $500,000 rent annually from the 5-year contract that has an option for a second 5 years. Getting the building's residency ready would be at the Compass expense, and the properties revert to the authority once the lease comes to a close.
Yeah, I mean, we've become kind of known as the place for being the hub of deportations in America.
Yeah, what people don't realize is when they send people back, I want to say I heard they get, is it like $1,000 and
that's what they, yeah, I think that's what the administration
did. Supply of medication or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe not as cold and heartless as it's always portrayed.
Yeah.
Probably getting more going back than when they came up.
They have been sending them out for sure.
Yeah.
And we're kind of the hub of that.
Let's get to the phones again. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Going back to Leonard Skinner a minute, I was always proud of them. You know, the plane crash was in '77, and so when they finally got everything back together and redid the tour, started in '91, 14 years later.
Wow.
And it was in Baton Rouge, and they said everybody that still had a ticket from '77 could use that ticket in '91. Now, as much as I like Kiss, I think Gene wouldn't have done it. Gene's after money, but I was always proud of Kiss for doing that. But another thing, now, Al, is this your first day back this week?
No, I was here Monday and Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Well, boy, I missed sometimes. Now, speaking of Wednesday, I haven't heard Greg Walker lately. Is he still around, or is he on sabbatical, or what?
Oh, yeah, he's still around. He just decided that he didn't want to continue to do the show for whatever reasons. That was his decision. So,
He's probably tired of getting up in the morning. I don't blame him.
Yeah, well, it was always a funny show when he was on.
Oh, yeah. Definitely missing him, that's for sure.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. Y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I'll be back with you Monday.
All right,
Bye.
sounds good. Bye. We'll be right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit Beaver Lake Renewable.
The Vista Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the LaBorde Earls Coliseum. Browse over 40 hot tubs and swim spas at up to 50% off. Financing is available and show admission is free. That's this weekend at the LaBorde Earls Coliseum. Visit spashow.com.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we're back. Alan Stephen with you here on your Friday morning, 318-442-8255. Other news this morning, Stephen, the city of Alexandria has announced that they have a new playground project that will bring renovations and facility upgrades to 6 of the city parks. They include Helen Black Park, Deborah Bowman Park, Charles F. Smith Park, Cheatham Park, Franco Hunter, and City Park. The renovations will include upgraded playground equipment, improvements to walking trails and sports courts, new seating and picnic areas, as well as landscaping, and safety enhancements. Officials noted there might be some temporary closures to ensure public safety during the construction. So a lot of those parks will be getting an overhaul. That's what I'm trying to say. Overview.
That's good. We're going to try and reach out to the city and get the deets.
Yeah. Everything's all about making things better, right? Speaking of which, AT&T has announced a $45 million upgrade to wireless services at Tiger Stadium ahead of next football season. Isn't that interesting? $45 million.
That's chump change.
For AT&T?
Chump change for them.
Yeah. I guess when you have 100,000 people packed into the same area, it takes a little more.
So people can post their selfies and all those different things. Very important.
You know what? Football season's going to be here before we know it.
Are you excited?
I really think that the fall, sports-wise, is kind of the peak time of the year because you have the startup of college football, you've got high school football, you got the NFL, and then you have the wind down of the baseball season with pennant races, the postseason. So it's really a great time of year.
It is.
And usually starts to cool off at least a little bit. Though here in Louisiana, it really doesn't start to cool off till like November.
I like the hot weather. I'll take
I know
it
you do.
Any day.
You're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to that. So, yeah, football will be here. Hey, I don't know what you do when you're preaching. I don't know how you prepare these days and how that's changing. But Pope Leo is urging, demanding that the clergy stop using AI to write their sermons. He goes, to give a true homily is to share faith, and AI will never be able to share faith, adding, like all the muscles in the body, if we do not use them, we do not move them, they die. The brain needs to be used, so our intelligence must be exercised a little so as to not lose this capacity. So even the priests are trying to do that. My favorite thing, though, in the Catholic faith lately, besides an American pope, which is pretty cool, is there's this pope, or not a pope, a priest on TikTok, and he does like these Catholic, I don't know if rave is the right word, but he's like a DJ. He's like an old guy. He's a DJ, and they have like a projector of like the cross and the dove, and he just plays these like Gregorian chants in like techno style, electronic music. You should look it up. It's pretty cool.
Interesting. No, I've never used AI to do sermon preparation. I think that's...
Yet.
Why do you say yet?
I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with it, at least as an aid, in my opinion.
I mean, I guess I could see you could use it maybe for research purposes.
Yeah.
In some levels, but You know, if you can, didn't you tell me this, that somebody, was it your dad that did it, where they typed in, like, give me a 3-point sermon?
No, I did it showing my dad you could do
Yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
And it spit it out pretty quick. I have no doubt there will be people who do that, but if you understand at all what sermon preparation is really all about, it's not something you're going to do, as tempting as it might be for some, because people are always looking for shortcuts. But just in general, we have this weird relationship right now with technology, and the complete sort of surrender of our human will and volition to it is pretty fascinating at this point. I saw, I think it was yesterday, Matt Walsh had posted this. That was the other day. He was talking about how smartphones are really ruining everything, that people don't know how to just sit still and think anymore, doing things like picking up a book and reading it, that everyone is overstimulated, addicted to the passive consumption of random bits of content streamed into their eyeballs at light speed, and how kids are being raised this way from birth. He calls it unhuman and disastrous for the mind and soul.
He's a Catholic, and nice tie in there. Also, for him, it's kind of rich from a guy who makes his living on social media, making these outlandish comments sometimes. So.
No, he's not wrong. I think with it, it's like anything else. You have to regulate it, and a lot of people aren't good at self-regulation. But I started putting my phone, for example, on silent, do not disturb, and then I'll check it on my own every 20 or 30 minutes.
I try to do that sometimes, and then I get to where I was last night. I had every intention of catching up on a movie I wanted to watch when everyone went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I argued with ChatGPT for 2.5 hours.
You argued with ChatGPT?
Yeah, like we had a discussion.
Really?
About religion. It was very interesting.
What?
It just kept going and going. And I'd play devil's advocate over religion. It was just very interesting. You should try it one day. It just spits out information.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Actually, anyone else could. And I think if you use it as an aid, like if you bought a study Bible, I think it could be beneficial for some things. You don't want it to write the whole thing. You could use it as an aid for sure.
Somebody brought up your point to Walsh. I'm looking at it in response to his post. You posted this from your smartphone, LOL. He said, yeah, you got me. I use technology, and yet I'm also critical of its effects on society. If you perceive some kind of logical conflict in those two things, that's a sign that you're basically retarded.
Well, the issue with him is, like, his whole MO is talking about everything that's on TV or popular and then bashing it in his own form.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's part of the brain rot, too. But he says some good things, too. I'm not a hater.
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's all right.
Yeah.
But that's how he's made his living, is saying controversial things on social media.
He's a little curmudgeon-y.
He's a very curmudgeon-y guy.
To say the least. But I will say this. His movie, What is a Woman, was pretty brilliant.
Yeah, and then I think it's very important, like I've said before, that kids probably just don't have the mental capacity. I don't mean that in a wrong way, to handle social media.
Yeah.
At that age.
That is the key. And I think that's what Walsh is afraid of, too, is that we are giving kids a screen from the moment they're born into the school world. We're already seeing that students are not scoring as well as standardized testing ever since laptops got put into the classroom. And there are studies that show if you really want to learn, it's far better to take notes, to write it down, than it is to just... And I see this even at the college level. The students are not as engaged mentally as they need to be. They just aren't.
Well, how do you... I don't know what kids are thinking these days, but how do you even stay concentrated? Like, everything moves so fast.
Yeah.
This could be irrelevant in a year.
Yeah.
Like, your whole college concept could be irrelevant.
Right.
You know, in a scarcity of knowledge world where you get a degree because you have a knowledge in a specific thing, I could potentially have it at my fingertips in 2 years or less. Like, think about it. Like, I could have a doctor in my phone.
Yep.
I could have a lawyer in my phone.
Yeah. Well, you bring up a topic, or we're bringing up a topic here that I've actually been thinking a lot about, and then I found an amazing article about it the other day that, I'll tell you what, we'll share more on that when we come back right after the break.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Evidently, persistence pays off. Warner Brothers Discovery says the revised takeover bid from Paramount Skydance is superior to the one it got from Netflix, so it's agreeing to Paramount's $111 billion offer for the iconic Hollywood studio. Netflix says it doesn't want to keep bidding. Paramount agreed to pay the $2.8 billion breakup fee that WBD would owe Netflix if their deal didn't go through. Dell Technology shares are jumping in early trading after the company gave an outlook for sales of its artificial intelligence servers that exceeded estimates. Dell says it'll generate around $50 billion in AI server revenue in the current fiscal year and enters the year with a record backlog of $43 billion. And happy birthday to Pokemon. Pikachu and company are celebrating 30 years today. The little game called Pocket Monsters that began in Japan has now become a multi-billion-dollar industry of a TV series, movies, trading cards, and more. Pokemon is reportedly the highest-grossing media franchise in history. Erica Herskowitz, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Bolton. 445-9823 and online at theclinics.us.
If you grew up in the 60s or 70s here in Cenla, you're sure to remember K-Dixie, the Stones, the Beatles, Motown, and the very best of the 60s, 70s, and more. Find K-Dixie today at 100.3 HD2 and at kdixie.com. A little warm weekend stretching out ahead of us. Good morning. Partly cloudy skies on our Friday afternoon highs climbing up to 79 degrees. Our winds will be out of the northeast at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. It's not a major factor there. 48 the overnight low into clear skies tonight. And then for Saturday and Sunday, a warm weekend. Afternoon highs both days, about 81. A lot of sunshine. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back. You wanted to make one more point about...
No, I just thought it was interesting because I told you I was arguing with ChatGPT about religion yesterday. Just out of like pure curiosity, and it turned into a whole rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
I played the role as like a naturalist, nihilist, materialist to kind of see how it reacted, like an argument against Christianity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally was trying to proselytize to me the whole time.
Wow.
It was very interesting. I could even pull up some of the things it says, and it would refute everything and a Christian standpoint. It was very interesting. You know, how accurate it was sometimes. Sometimes it spits out a little bit more than you can handle.
Yeah.
And you can kind of fine-tune the responses over time. But usually it seems to be reaffirming when I have discussions with it. Lately, it's been like, well, you got to look at it from this angle, and you know, what about justice and where morals come from and stuff like that. It's very interesting.
Very.
It was kind of surprising.
That's kind of cool. All right, so here's the article I was talking about, written by a guy named Darshak Rana on Twitter. It's called The New Pandemic. The New Pandemic, even as I just sneezed. He says, you'll either love me or hate me after.
Should have got the vaccine now.
Yeah.
I'll shut up.
He says there's no in between because of what I'm about to reveal blows the lid off the lies we've been living and the elaborate con game we've unknowingly played our whole lives. Right now is a strange exhaustion spreading through modern life. I think that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But it has nothing to do with how much you sleep or how hard you work. You feel it when you wake up after 8 hours and still want to stay in bed. You feel it in the afternoon when nothing sounds interesting, but you can't sit still either. You can feel it at night when you've consumed hours of content but can't recall a single thing worth remembering. Something is draining the color from the experience of life itself.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I've been thinking about this for years, noticing it in myself and in almost everyone I talk to. A fog that seems to hover over our collective attention, like a thinning of presence, a growing inability to be somewhere without also being everywhere else. The internet has a word for it, brain rot. People use it as a joke, a meme, a way to laugh at the absurdity of the content we consume, but I've stopped finding it funny. The more I sit with what's actually happening to our minds, relationships, capacity for depth and meaning, the more I realize we're looking at something far more serious than a cultural punchline. We're witnessing the largest uncontrolled experiment in human psychology ever conducted, and most of us are both the subjects and the casualties. We have a pandemic on our hands, a much more serious one than one we've already had, because it dissolves the mind slowly and visibly and with the full cooperation of its victims. So he basically calls it the anatomy of the hijacked mind. What is your attention actually for? From a biological standpoint, it's the mechanism that allows you to navigate reality, how you decide what matters, the filter that separates signal from noise, opportunity from threat, meaning from chaos. Your attention is the lens through which you construct your entire experience of being alive. He quotes William James, the father of American psychology, who says, "My experience is what I agree to attend to. Only those items which I notice shape my mind." So our lived reality is shaped moment by moment by what we give our attention to. Attention must not be considered a passive lens. It actively selects, filters, and amplifies experience. What you repeatedly attend to becomes familiar. What becomes familiar turns into belief. Belief slowly hardens into identity. Over time, your sense of self forms around whatever you've been feeding with focus. So here's the problem. For the first time in human history, there are trillion-dollar industries competing for every second of your attention. But the difference is they don't want to help you improve your quality of life. Their intention and aim is to capture your focus and sell it to the highest bidder. The attention economy, he calls it, is a literal marketplace where your consciousness is the product being traded. And the engineers designing these systems aren't amateurs. They've drawn on decades of behavioral psychology, neuroscience, and addiction research. They know exactly how your brain works, the dopamine loops, the variable reward schedules, the social validation triggers, and they exploit every vulnerability with surgical precision. He quotes a former design ethicist at Google, says, "There are 1,000 people on the other side of the screen whose job it is to break down the self-regulation that you have."
And I think that's a good point, because we're worried about the president or this quite literally have a handful of people in San Francisco who own these companies and thrive of humanity without any oversight. Politicians aren't keeping up. The people aren't keeping up. No offense, and it's one of the biggest things that's ever happened in human history.
Yeah.
We saw Blocks, the former owner of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, lay off half of his 10,000 employees because of AI.
Right.
That was the largest layoff in S&P 500 history. I don't even really see it in the news today too much.
No.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're going to see more and more of, especially in those white-collar jobs. That's what you're going to see. I hate to be dramatic, and I try and be positive, and I think it's a positive thing. I just don't think the life that you, as a boomer, what are you? Gen Xer? I almost called you a boomer. I'm sorry. A millennial? The life that we grew up with is just not going to be there anymore.
Yeah.
By the time we're dead. And so that could be jarring. That could be somewhat dystopian for some of us. But there's also a lot of potential as well. But I just don't think the world's ready for what's coming. And I try and take all this information from like these CEOs like Altman and the Anthropic guy with some skepticism, because they're trying to make money, and sometimes the hype can help them make money, right? Raise the stock. But that article you read is very true. It's a very difficult time, and I think technology is really threatening culture, especially with young people.
Yeah.
We don't have that shared identity much anymore.
Right. And honestly, I only read like the first 10% of the article, and he does specifically get into the impact this is having on young people, how they're bearing the worst of the crisis. Teen depression has increased 145%. 145%. Since 2010, suicide rates among teens has climbed 70%. Anxiety disorders have become the norm rather than the exception. A majority of young people now report feeling hopeless about the future. He says, you think it's a coincidence? 2010 is when smartphones achieved mass adoption. It's when social media became the dominant mode of social interaction for young people. It's when the attention economy kicked into high gear and started running experiments on children. Jonathan Haidt's research in The Anxious Generation documents the correlation in devastating detail. The mental health of an entire generation collapsed in tandem with the rise of phone-based childhood.
Yep. It's a crisis for sure.
He says, now they're struggling with focus, relationships, meaning, and basic mental health. And we act surprised. We handed them a casino disguised as a communication device and wonder why they develop gambling addictions. We give them a portal to infinite social comparison and wonder why they hate themselves. We make them perform their identities for algorithmic approval from childhood and wonder why they don't know who they are. The kids are not okay, and the longer we pretend otherwise, the more of them we lose.
And I have to find the specific stat, too. If you look at, so America, when you grew up, very religious, you're in the 98% of the population identified as probably some sort of religious affiliation, Christian.
Yeah.
And then you see internet come into play, and that is significantly dropped off.
Yes.
Like you would, if you heard someone was an agnostic or an atheist back in your day, very taboo, something you wouldn't speak of, you just didn't hear much about it. And I'm not, but you see this lack of meaning, right?
Yeah.
And it's getting worse and worse. And it's also good, too, not for that, but like we're getting different ideas. We're seeing different perspectives. But sometimes I think it just destroys that cultural identity that we have and kind of hurts that cohesive society.
Well, here's what he says. The problems or the consequences of brain rot accumulate and compound, and they shape the trajectory of your life, whether you acknowledge it or not. Your relationships get shallower, your work is getting worse, your capacity for joy is diminishing, your sense of self is eroding, and at some point, the bill comes due. So he kind of actually gives a little bit of help here, like what are some things that you can do? One, he calls it environmental surgery. The phone audit, go through your phone and delete every app that uses infinite scrolling, including social media apps, news apps, and any app designed to maximize time on device rather than utility.
So you have a calculator then?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Secondly, turn off all notifications except calls and messages from real human beings. No news alerts, no app reminders, no email notifications. Every notification is an interruption. Every interruption fractures your focus. Your phone should be a tool to use when you need it, not a leash that yanks you around all day. 3, the bedroom purge. The phone does not belong in your bedroom, full stop. Buy a $10 alarm clock, charge your phone in another room, create a physical barrier between your device and your sleeping space. 4, friction construction. Make healthy behaviors easy and the destructive behaviors hard. Put your books where you used to put your phone. When you read for stimulation, grab a book instead. Log out of accounts after each use. That extra step to log in creates Part 2, the attention rebuilder. The daily deep block. Start with 1 hour a day of completely unnetted off. No music with lyrics, nothing but you and your work. 2, the boredom practice, rather. Deliberately, and I think this is interesting, deliberately build boredom back into your life. Wait in line without pulling out your phone. Eat a meal without entertainment. Go for a walk without podcasts or music. Sit with nothing to do for 10 minutes and just be. This is training. Boredom is the gateway to depth.
That's what I try and do. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I try and just not listen to anything. And if I'm in line and everyone's looking down their phone because they feel awkward, I just try and put it in my pocket and just look around.
Yeah.
You know? However, let's be honest, how much more convenient our lives have become, too.
True.
It's improved life in a lot of ways as well.
Yeah.
So but maybe disconnect every once in a while.
Yeah. I do think he makes a lot of great points, but I think we're all already too far gone.
But when you say focus on your work and sit there,
Yeah.
AI can do your work.
Yeah.
Will do your work for you.
Now it can.
If you look at like Perplexity that was just released, you can set it up with Claude and everything. You can set it up on your computer and give it more specific tasks, and it learns over time, and it can just do it behind the scenes.
Wow.
That's just what I'm saying is we're moving into something where we don't have to do these things anymore. And those robots, like the Optimus that Tesla's putting out, that they said could go into homes in a year or so. Atlas has released theirs too. Yeah. It's insane. Like if you look at 2023 to 2025, how much those humanoid robots have advanced, it's unimaginable. And Anthropic says it's going to be, people don't see the tsunami that's coming for them.
Oof. Interesting stuff. All right, we're back.
KSYL.
For over 35 years, Security Metal Roofing has been Cenla's trusted name for metal buildings and roofing. When it comes to the highest quality materials at rock-bottom prices and top-tier service, nobody does it better. And don't worry, great prices doesn't mean cutting corners. Our Cool Chemistry color sheeting comes with a 40-year warranty, plus the peace of mind that comes with a team that has over 150 years of combined experience. From sheeting and red iron to roll-up doors and insulation, you get more for your money at Security Metal Roofing. Whether you need a new roof, carport, or are building your dream shop, we're here to help every step of the way. Apples to apples, we won't be undersold, and that's a guarantee. Call 445-0223 for your quote today, or visit us at Security Metal Roofing on Masonic Drive in Alexandria, or online at securitymetalroofing.com. Security Metal Roofing, your local experts in metal roofing and buildings, where quality, service, and price come together.
Coming to Alexandria, Showtime presents Proud Tina, the ultimate tribute to Tina Turner. Relive the magic of Tina Turner live on stage with simply the best tribute concert around, featuring an international band, dancers, and world-class production. It happens one night only, Sunday, March 1st at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Coughlin Saunders Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now at louisiana-arts.org or call 318-484-4474 to celebrate Tina Turner.
Now back to Talkback. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, well, keeping up with this theme of what we're talking about with the impact of technology, a lady named Julia McCoy on Twitter posted, nobody's talking about this. Children born today will never know a world without autonomous AI.
It's insane.
They won't Google things, they'll ask an agent. They won't learn to code, they'll learn to direct. They won't write resumes, there may not be jobs to apply for. We're raising the first generation of humans who will grow up alongside minds that aren't human, and we're parenting them with a 1995 playbook. The most important skill you can teach your kids right now isn't math or coding, it's how to think, how to discern, how to stay human when everything around them is not.
Yeah, it's the world I hate to be this guy, because it's a very bold thing to say. I could look stupid if it doesn't, but I'm convinced the world we know is almost over. God, that sounds so stupid. It sounds like a movie. The world we know is over. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it's just, it's crazy. You know what, and I get it too, like I try and be guarded, and I'm not a young teenager. I think my frontal lobe is developed, I hope. And I'm looking forward to like getting back on ChatGPT and having more arguments with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's weird, man. It's weird.
Well, I can give you a number of a live person that you can call. And have
yeah, I'll call him and we can talk about it too. I love arguing with y'all as well. My favorite pastime. Oh, I didn't really argue with you back in the day too much, did I?
No.
Oh.
You know, it's interesting because you brought up the company Blocks that's owned by Jack Dorsey, a technology company, and how they're replacing basically half their workforce now because of AI. I think you're going to see this gigantic, we're already seeing it, massive amounts of layoffs. Then we're going to hear the networks reporting, oh, the jobless rate is increasing and blah, 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 and try to blame it on, Trump policies. And no president could withstand this.
No,
I mean, no. This
and
is
I
not
think
about,
they're aware of that.
Yeah, this is not about policies. This is about just a seismic shift in the world.
Whoever's president next is gonna be an interesting road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw kind of a different note. I saw results of a survey yesterday. It looked at pride in being an American by a political party from 2001 to 2025. The question asked, how proud are you to be an American? Extremely proud, very proud, moderately proud, only a little proud, or not at all? And if you go back to 2001, whether it was red or blue, it was right there at the 87 to 90%. Democrats were about 87%, Republicans were at 90%. Through the last 25 years, the Republican pride factor in America has been consistently at that 90% mark, and currently is at 92. This is according to Gallup. But where would, if you had to guess, where would you say the overall pride in America from a Democrat standpoint is?
I'm like 41.
Yeah, you're giving them more credit. 36.
That's not surprising at all.
36.
Very skeptical. And a lot of it is they just don't like the way our government's put together. I mean, we see some of them openly celebrating socialism.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
And you also see a lot of them, too, because I try and watch their media as well, a lot. And they're very skeptical of hyper-nationalism because they believe it could turn into something else, you know? But, yeah, that's not surprising at all. Not at all.
At the same time, Republican trust in the mass media has eroded considerably. Democrats, their trust in the mass media remains pretty consistent.
A Democrat?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the ones that I pay attention to on the left are kind of like the right.
Mm-hmm.
They're the anti-establishment type, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of them don't even like the Democrat Party, which is why you're seeing it probably it's getting turned on its head, too.
Mm-hmm.
With what you've seen in New York, Seattle, AOC talks of being a presidential candidate. That's not something we probably guessed a couple of years ago.
No.
And so it's changing, too.
Like Kennedy says, just let her talk. She'll dig her own grave.
I don't think she'll be the nominee, or even close to the nominee.
I don't think so either.
I'd have to say it'd probably be Newsom if I had to put money on it.
Yeah.
Or even maybe like a Westmore or something. Or what's his name? Bashir. I think that'd be more likely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. We need to take our last break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Louisiana strawberry season is here, and our farmers are hard at work bringing you the freshest, juiciest berries around. Hand-picked with care, Louisiana strawberries are bursting with sweetness, packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. They're as healthy as they are delicious. You'll find them now at your local grocery store, farmers markets, and roadside stand, grown with pride right here at home. This is Agriculture and Forestry Commissioner Mike Strain reminding you to ask for Louisiana strawberries. Fresh, local, and simply the best.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, last segment of the morning. Let's go to the phones. Gonna guess it's Brad. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Oh, you got it, baby. It's Friday.
Hey, we've actually got about 4 minutes. This is a lot of time for you.
Oh my God, I don't know where to start. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Democrats, unfortunately, and you know me, I'm not picking sides because history will prove itself. Democrats just take whatever media tells them to digest, except when it comes to something positive about Trump. TDS is real. I'm sorry. You can sit there and try and tell someone, hey, I've got massive evidence the banking system is going to change. It's been a process and going on for the last 15 years, and they'll just go, yeah, well, you know what? Trump did it. And it's like, well, but no, he didn't, and nothing like that even remotely happened. And it's like you can't give them evidence anymore, and that's a real problem for them because that is creating a divide that's just, it's off the charts, the divide. So what I always try to stress, and I always invite people to listen to your show and other shows, is that local talk radio is on your side and the media is not. And the reason why is because conversations are open here. And we can always keep something open no matter what our political views are. And that's healthy. That's really, really healthy. And that leads me in to the AI thing that you were talking about earlier. But you know what, Al, really quickly, we should chat soon if you get the chance and time, because I know you're busy, about the crypto stuff, because it's coming in fast. Like March 1st is when they pushed up the deadline for the Clarity Bill. And that's going to set, in my opinion, the banking rules for like the next 200 years. And I'm being recruited fast. I have already gone through a couple interviews, and I am going to be picking, and some of my morning calls might not be as a plethora of them, and they might have to tone down a little bit. But I really want to be able to educate some of the people of Louisiana. You guys are such great people. I think it's going to take everybody by surprise, and this is why this massive distractions are happening, because the order out of chaos is in full effect, let's face it. But when it goes to the AI, the real AI is running your own AI. And it's very simple, and it's becoming extremely cheap. Like $10, you can model AIs, but you need to actually go to an uncensored AI. There's a site out there that hosts most of them, and all the developers come out. It's called HuggingFace.co. And when you start a AI that isn't censored or has any political bias or is, doesn't have to worry about being sued, even though I don't know how you're going to sue a machine, but some lawyer's going to figure it out. The results are insane. And it's like the internet went back to it was in the early 90s, when you could get all kinds of information through all these different websites, and you can run it in multiple, and it's just like multiple LLMs, which are large language models in AIs. And it's really simple to do. It's a lot more simple than the media and stuff is making it out to be, because personally, in my opinion, I don't think they wanted us to have access to this as fast. Because it really gives us information so quickly that it's dangerous to the establishment, in my opinion. They've got a team of guys that can't keep up anymore now.
It's pretty amazing it's happening.
Hard enough. Oh. Pardon?
I said it's pretty amazing it's happening.
It is, and that's why I always say there's always a positive side and a negative to this. And of course, we can use this AI for tons of nefarious things. I mean, I can create some really funny memes, but we also need to take more, learn from history here, what has happened in the last 30 years with just computers in general, and really embrace it for good, because it can give us a chance here to win. A lot of people think we're being, brought into like a prison data system, and we are. But if we fight it and we push back, it's going to take them a lot longer, and we're going to get some of our rules of the road, to just basically treat humanity fairly at this point. Because, I mean, if I go to the store because they said, you were on with Al and Steve back in February 27th of 2026. It's now 2028. You know what? That really dinged your social credit score. Sorry, we can't give you that, a loan for that life-saving shot. It's a liability on our side. You think it's crazy, and I'm being funny with it, but I just don't put anything past anything anymore, What are you guys' thoughts on it? Yep. It's just crazy stuff.
Brother,
we'll talk to you guys. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate it. And you all have a great weekend, too. We'll talk with you on Monday.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9,
KSYL and KRRV 100.3 HD3 Alexandria.